When given a large amount of data, it's important to take that data and organize it in some fashion that will help us make sense of it. Today, we're going to look at how the TI calculators can take a large amount of data and organize it into a box and whisker plot. Real quick review of box and whisker plots shows that we're graphing from the smallest value to the greatest value and calling the distance between the range. The box consists of the first quartile, the median value, and the third quartile. Here's a data set. I'm going to ask you to enter this into the L1 of your calculator. If there's any data there, please clear that out and enter this into L1. Feel free to pause the video and enter the data. Let's begin by creating a 5-number summary and a box and whisker plot by entering raw data. The data that you have in your calculator should look like this. In your list, I see here that I have 3 4s, 4 5s, and it would continue on down. So you should have that data now as well. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to press Stat, and I'm going to scroll over with the arrow key to Calculate. And I'm going to do a 1 var stats. It's going to do my 1 variable statistics. I don't have to do this next step because my data is in L1, but I'm going to go ahead and specify it. Second 1 posts that it is indeed I am looking at L1, that data that is there. If I had data in another list, this is the way I would make the calculator look at that specific list. When I hit enter, it gives me a readout of the mean. Here X bar would be the mean of the data set. It gives me a standard deviation value. But what we're interested in today, like I said, was that 5-number summary. N tells me that there were 15 data points total. My minimum value was 4. My quartile 1 was 5. My median value was 6. Q3 was 7. That third quartile, and my maximum value was 9. Now if I was working on paper, I could create my box and whisker plot from this. However, since the data is in the calculator, let me show you how we would continue on and create a box and whisker plot. I'm going to go into plot 1. I hit second stat plot, and I'm going to go into plot 1, making sure that plot 1 is turned on. I'm going to go down into my type, and I'm going to scroll across. I'm not creating a histogram. I've got 2 choices here for my box and whisker plot. Notice this one has a few little dots off to the side. Those would be outliers, and we could create that box and whisker plot, but we're not going to today. I'm going to come over to here, and I'm going to make sure that this box and whisker plot is highlighted, just the regular old box and whisker plot. Scrolling down to my X list, my X data is in L1, but notice here my frequency says L2. I want to create this to be a frequency of 1. Every data value is represented by itself in this box and whisker plot. Once I've set this screen up to look like this, I can do a zoom 9. When I do a zoom 9, a zoom stat, up comes my box and whisker plot. Calculator has another neat feature here. I can go into trace, and when I've clicked the trace button, I can scroll through all the 5-number summary points. There's my minimum value of 4. Notice the cursor shifts over to Q1 of 5. Cursor again shifts over to the median of 6. Here my Q3 is 7, and my maximum value was 9. This is how we would create a 5-number summary and a box and whisker plot using the idea of raw data. Here we have our second set of data. This is considered a frequency table. It's set up a little bit differently, where the data is in the X list, L1, and the frequency is in L2. Alright, let's begin now by creating a 5-number summary and a box and whisker plot with a frequency table. A set of data now that has both the data here in my X data in that L1 and the frequencies. Before I had 4, 4, 4. Now I'm saying that 4 is represented 3 times in my data set. So L2 now represents my frequencies. I'm going to go into my stat, over to calc. I'm going to do a 1 var stats, and I'm going to clarify for the calculator that I'm interested in L1, comma, L2. By typing L2 here, I am telling the calculator that this is a frequency. Hit enter and scroll down. When I get to the bottom here, once again, I haven't changed the data set. It's just a different way of organizing it. And my min, median, max, Q1, and Q3 are all the same values as I would expect. Let's go ahead then and create our box and whisker plot. In plot 1, again, plot 1 is turned on. The type is highlighted properly. My X list is L1. That has not changed. But now my frequency. My frequency I want to be L2. Upon doing this, zoom 9. I did it again. You're going to have to quit out of this. I'd have alpha on. Go ahead and do a zoom 9. I can do that from the home screen. And once again, no surprise, box plot looks exactly the same. Tracing out the values again shows my median here is 6, and I'll just scroll over Q3, and my maximum value I expect to be 9, and indeed it is. This is how we do the 5-number summary and box plot on the TI calculators.